when I started studying the MBA in South Africa, the courses were very distinct from each other. They were like little cocoons of units, and you studied them and you went away, and there was no cross-pollination. The units didn't speak to each other, and they felt very alienated from each other, very siloed thinking. And then when I had the opportunity to come across to IBR and look at the Global MBA, I suddenly realized the difference there of that integrative or holistic sort of thinking, where it was the thinking of you're studying something, but it's applicable to your work, it's applicable to your everyday life. And that is when the whole thinking of what really applies to your work life, to your business life, and how you can take that forward and make it really meaningful starts to kick into place. And for me, that journey may have happened during the Global MBA course, but what really kicked into place for me was maybe a few months or even a few years down the line after having studied the Global MBA, when you're stuck into your business life. And the lessons you've learned, the grounding that you've had from this academic and integrative learning really starts to kick into place. And it's some of the discussions we've had, some of the learnings we've had really started to kick into place. And you could see that is why we learned it that way. That is why the way we did it, the way we did our assignments, it's the way we talked about it. And all of the cross-pollination, it's the things that really started to matter. And you realized whatever you had learned in siloed thinking just didn't apply anymore. It was something from this, something from that. Conversation really started to kick into place. And I think that is the difference with the Global MBA and what we do at IBR. It really made a difference on the ground as to how you could tackle problems and come up with solutions. And my work, particularly up in Africa, so spanning from South Africa up through to Kenya and Nigeria and into Botswana, I worked with some communication hubs and some data hackathons where there was the educational aspect, there was the business aspect, and there was the entrepreneurship. Suddenly, all of the learnings from the Global MBA started to show you where you could make the linkages, where you could make the cross-pollination, where you could do what you had learned, but put it into place. And I think that is the real value of the Global MBA. It shows you that every aspect from every course started to have meaningful connections. And I think that is the real value, and made such a difference to not only my working life, but just how I was able to tackle each step of those processes. So for me, that was the real value. And it may not have happened immediately for me on the course, but suddenly all of that training, all of that learning, each and every discussion kicked into place. And then you really realize the value.
I really believe that IBR is a special school. It stands apart from any other universities because I see that this school has a very particular mission of delivering unquestionable, uncompromised, the top level of education in a convenient way, and as to me, at a very affordable cost. So that's so there is a mission to provide uncompromised, really top level world education to the students located in different geographies in a very convenient but though very effective way that ensures that that top knowledge really delivers its fruits. So I'm absolutely happy with this school. I see that dedication and devotion by the academics, and I can tell you more about that. Why I think it's perfect. The IBR has selected the top talented academics from around the world, and the program itself is constructed in a way to expose students to different cultures and to different environments. I have had experience of being in the residential periods all around the world, in China, in the United States, in Germany, in Hungary, in Israel. So that's this mix of different cultures, understanding of different peculiarities, different kind of even legislations, different business environments, and different perspectives. That's really something special that I doubt that any other Masters of Business Administration program can offer globally. Knowledge in the world is expanding. It's expanding like heavily. It's the business books can be probably counted not in the thousands, but probably in the millions of different editions. So there is an ocean of knowledge, and pursuing that knowledge without the guidance of these academics, which are combined by the common mission in IBR, it's just impossible. So what the professors in IBR do, they really choose the best and very practical pieces of that information from the top talented authors, and they give it in a way that it's interconnected. All the aspects of the business are connected to each other in a single, very effective program. This is something special. Also, I would like also to share with you, Andreas, what I appreciate is that the global MBA with IBR, it's not something solid. So the knowledge that that you are sharing is the most recent advancements in the technology. I so much appreciate. You know my story. My study has been interrupted by war 2 times. So I have started before the first Russian invasion to Ukraine, and then I had to make a pause because of the urgent needs to sustain the business. And then I started again, and then again it has been interrupted by that military action. But what was my surprise when I resumed my study now to discover that the program is already very different. So it is based on a very modern, latest pieces of the knowledge that have appeared since that time in the world. And it's not just picking that pieces of the knowledge, but that is the, I think it's a talent of integrating that knowledge into the rest of the program. So it's not just the innovation and digital technology, but that's also the combination and interconnection of that with a very well established strategy maps theory, which I adore and I really appreciate it. So there is a lot to be can be said about IBR, why it is special.
Found about IBR was that it's very practical, right? All the assignments, the research, including even the thesis, you always encouraged us to look at in-company projects. So that helped me learn a lot more about the company I work for, because I needed to interact with, to do my assignments, I needed to interact with people from operations, heads of human resources, including like heads of business strategy. So that has helped me from a personal point of view and also advance my career, because fast forward to 2021, I was then promoted to be the CFO of another listed company.
This has been an invaluable academic experience for me. It felt more like a mentoring and coaching experience as opposed to a normal global MBA, in the sense that I had the privilege to go through my assignments for each module based on practical examples in my own business and other businesses that I am related to. So the feedback that I obtained in those assignments was practical feedback, which I could implement immediately. And, you know, you've always found that academic experiences, you learn things that maybe you'll use later on in life, but I was able to immediately use the feedback that I got, which felt more like mentorship and coaching as opposed to the normal learning. So that was really the major highlight for me. Then there was also the travel aspect. I mean, I cannot deny I love traveling. So I certainly loved that part of the experience, the travel to Israel, the travel to Germany. The Germany trip was certainly the highlight because we got to visit businesses in Germany and one could get a practical feel of the Made in Germany brand. So that was invaluable for me. I don't think I would have had that experience anywhere else. So that was a major highlight. Then there was also the fact that when I started this MBA, I had grown in terms of my business growth as a profession. I was starting to take positions on boards. And one of the aspects that I felt was lacking was a broader understanding of businesses, from strategy, from entrepreneurial skills, and even just financial knowledge. And that's something that I gathered through this MBA. I think I always say to people that all the professors that took me for the finance module demystified finance for me. So today I can actually sit in board meetings and make meaningful contributions, and I can actually understand what they're talking about. So that was also very invaluable. And the last aspect for me, which was also a highlight of the program, was the integration of technology. I think every module that we did, the highlight was the future is tech now, and what are you doing in terms of all the strategies, all the ideas that you're looking at must have a tech aspect to it. And that for me was something that, people don't talk about. We are busy strategizing about HR, but you don't think about what HR will look like in 5 years or what HR will look like in 10 years. So that was really a major takeaway for me. So those, I think I would say, were my highlights. I'm also one of those people that took a bit of time to do my MBA. It's very unusual. I think a lot of professionals do their MBAs within the first 5 years of working. And I only embarked on mine almost 15 years into my career. And the reason I did that was because it took me time to identify an MBA that I felt was practical and not just a qualification that I would file. And what I would say to anyone who's shopping for an MBA at the moment is there's a lot of business issues that we face on a day-to-day basis. And this MBA program provides an opportunity for you to actually discuss solutions to those problems. And that's something that you don't find in many MBA programs. And if it's an issue of time, because it's so practical, you actually find that it's not time wasted. You're basically investing in day-to-day solutions for your business. So I would certainly say to anyone who's considering enrolling in an MBA, for me, this would be the best because it's an MBA that provides you with coaching and mentorship in terms of your day-to-day business.